Hey guys, welcome to another edition of
Discovering Our Journey.
I'm your host MC,
And I'm JC.
and we have a special guest today.
Yes.
So, hi.
Thanks for joining us, Kat.
Thanks for having me. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
Absolutely. So we're here today. You're going to help us out with our conversations, right?
Right.
Which is explaining how someone can learn to love freely, even though they felt receiving love from others was a struggle, right? While growing up.
Right.
Did you feel that it was a struggle?
Oh yeah, I would consider myself the family anomaly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma I'm a grandma's girl, but I'm also a mama's girl.
Oh, yeah.
So my grandmother was super affectionate with me. I was always cuddling with her and snuggling. She was like cuddle bunny and my mom was very affectionate, but not that much.
Right.
My dad, not at all. My brothers, well, my brother's not really either, but it's just been recently where they now tell me that they love me too.
Oh.
So I would tell them, I love you. They don't say things like, tell me you love me. And then they tell me they love me. So now they're in the habit of it. But yeah, and I guess even growing up in the neighborhood, because I've always been like chipper
Yeah.
and walking on top of the happy line, and kids in the neighborhood, they'd be okay, but they'd be kids, we play, but I've always been comfortable in my own skin.
And when you say that, that your mom, your grandmother gave you a little bit more, did you notice it more as an adult or really as a kid?
I think as an adult,
Yeah.
that's when you realize it.
And I feel the same
You
way.
don't realize it. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
I feel the same way. I mean, my grandmother, I would make drawings or whatever, different stuff, and my grandmother was really good about putting them up and everything.
Aw.
And my mother, for some reason, she just wouldn't cards or whatever. It's like, where's my card I made you or whatever. But as a kid, like, you don't realize it. Like, if you're like, oh yeah, my mom, yeah, she doesn't.
It's too many.
And then again,
Yeah.
also, and then with my grandmother, she was more stable too. So with my mom, we would move around a lot. So then there was really no time to put stuff up. So like in the house, there was hardly ever anything that I did as a kid. But my grandmother would always have a painting that I did when I was 5 years old or whatever. So I didn't feel that at all either until I got older. I was like, yeah, she never really kept any of my stuff. It's like, but. I never, I had the love, but she just showed it in a different way. It wasn't able to show it, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that your mother had difficulty because of something that maybe, for her to show it?
Yeah, I think, well, see, thing is, she was raised in New York a lot of her years. And she and her parents were very, very, very close. They did a lot of things. So my mom showed love by always being there for me. Like I was in high school, I was in drill team, and she was a band mom.
Yeah.
So she always made sure, and then even
So she was always present during those
she was
times.
always present.
Gotcha.
That she was present.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
how she pretty much would show love. Be there on time. What about for you?
Yeah. Well, we were too many. We were a lot of children, so my mom was always working, but I was always like you with my grandma, so I felt a lot of love and attention with her.
Right.
So, yeah, but I was a lot more quiet because she had an agenda. She was a very busy grandma. She was a sewer and just always
Really?
meeting up with people, church functions and stuff.
Wow.
So, yeah, but it was always nice. It was always nice to be around with her and,
They give you that time because they have that time sometimes. And even,
Absolutely.
but then again, with how many sisters, then it's a lot more difficult to try to give
Yes.
everyone the time.
Yes.
And for me, I was an only child.
Ooh.
Pretty much.
So you got it all.
I was,
He got
you could
it
say
all.
I was like, my uncle had 3 girls but moved away north. So technically, from my other 2 uncles and my mom that stayed, I was the only one. So I was my grandmother's eye. So that's
the apple.
Yes, yeah. So it's I could do nothing wrong.
Yeah, well, you're a boy too, so boys can typically do nothing wrong anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my grandmother defended me, all the time. So my mom always says we're like brother and sister. We weren't like son and mother and stuff because I tell on her and she tell on me.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. The whole rivalry thing. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
that is. And so, how do you fit in your sibling lineup? Like, were you the baby?
I'm the baby.
Okay.
I'm also the only girl.
Oh,
How
see, there
many?
you go. Look
Yeah.
at the ratio.
Of how many?
4 of us.
Okay.
So
okay.
my
only
oldest
girl.
brother is 7 years older than I, then 6 years older than I, and then 4 years older than I.
Wow.
Yeah. So they have a lot of dirt on me. But you know what? I was. They got away with nothing.
Or take me to the store. You know how like you want to go. They want to go to the store. You gotta take your little sister.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those things.
Well, actually, the brother who's 4 years older than I, we were pretty close growing up. So he would take me around the corner to the store, and he was also very protective. Like one time, there was an animal that had been hit in the street, and he said, "Turn your head. Don't look over here." Of course, you want to look over there because he said, "Don't look over here." So he didn't want me to be hurt and
Traumatized.
sad, and yeah, I know.
That's sweet.
I don't know what
That is
happened.
traumatizing.
Yeah.
So that's sweet that he would think, don't look.
Yeah,
That's
Because his
awesome.
thing, even he has one daughter, and even he says, he tells his sons, "You have only one sister. You got to take care of her." The brother who's 4 years older than I, he has two sons and one daughter, and he's always telling them, "You have only one sister. Make sure you take care of her." And amongst my nieces and nephews, there's 4 boys and 2 girls, so they make sure that the girls are well cared for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You got to. You got to. It's never going to be the same, right?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, do you believe that it's true that you can't treat your kids the same?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They all have different needs and different loves and different personalities, and
Right.
everything is slightly different.
Different thresholds. Of,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, in your childhood, because like now that you say you recognize where the love was, right? How would you tell yourself in the teen years where it was difficult to notice it? Like that's where you should have noticed it. Like what would you tell someone so that they can get over that hurt? You know?
Well, it all comes to the love of Christ. If you think about like my grandmother, another thing she did for me, she had me sit with her and we would either hold hands and we would watch Billy Graham or listen to him on the radio. I grew up with him. It drove the nuns crazy because of all the questions I had. It's
The
like,
nuns. So so you had Catholic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You grew up Catholic.
yes, 12
Okay.
years of catechism, Good Friday, Lent, everything, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But I really felt good about that because there's tradition. And tradition, there's a comfort to tradition. And I did ask the nuns a lot of questions that drove them crazy, which was a lot of fun all by itself. But
It's good to be a why child, I think.
Yeah.
Curiosity of your surroundings, because then when you challenge something and you start to try to see if you believe it or not, when you do believe it, like you know that it's true. Like
Right.
your faith becomes a lot more bigger.
right.
Right? Because that's what I felt like I went through.
I
Right.
think the tradition though from before was you don't ask questions, but I think
Yes.
in our generation is when it started to change. Like, okay, you got to inform them because other people will inform them if you don't inform them.
Or
you
misinform them.
misinform
Yeah.
them. Exactly.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
now that rule is like number one now.
Yeah.
You got to inform them about everything.
Yeah.
The kids nowadays, you got to be prepared for so much now. There's not even about, don't hang out with that older boy or whatever, because he's going to, you're a boy and you hang out with you're 12 and you're like, oh, that kid's cool. He's 16. So then that's your thing. But now you're following the guy who's 16 and the other
Yeah.
people. So it's like so much easier to get misinformation or other types of information. So
And remember, kids don't believe the parent or their older people. They believe their peers.
Oh, isn't that
Their
the
peers
truth?
have all the information. They know everything.
Yeah.
But to go back to your question, as far as the teen years, I would just say if you're convicted about something, if you know something to be true, stay with it, no matter what others around you. Because I was also belonged to a Catholic youth group. There were about 30 of us in there, and I used to preach to them because I was like became a Christian while my dad died when I was 18 years old, a month after I turned 18. So I started going to church with my brothers who are all born again, and so that's when I asked Jesus into my heart,
Yeah.
and I started living my life for Him, and then I started passing it on to this youth group, and I would stand up in front of everybody and I would just preach the word. I didn't care, just like out there. And they started calling me Joan the Baptist.
That's cute.
And so funny, one of the guys I preached to, he actually attends our church.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like a
he
small
became born
world,
again.
right?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would just say as a teen, if you are confident in yourself and comfortable with who you are, stay true to that because no one is going to be able to change who you are
Yes.
and what you are.
Yes.
And they're not going to like you. They're not going to like you because you are that. And that you are something that they want to be. But then you could actually have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And just bring them into that world where you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how did that conversion happen though? Like I would like to know, because my mom also was born Catholic and then she converted as well.
It was challenging to the nuns.
Oh, okay.
Challenging. It wasn't challenging to me because remember listening to Billy Graham in my elementary school years.
Oh, and he was Christian.
Yeah,
Okay.
Billy, on the radio, and like just the fire and the power
Yes.
of Christ that he would share.
Yes.
It was feeding me already as a
Yeah.
child. I was already growing up in it, even though I was attending the Catholic Church.
I think it's just, you made a good point, and I've always said it's like, I love the fact that my mom would read to me like the I don't know if you remember the little yellow book with the stories of Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And
The kids' books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, there's one in particular. It's called History of the Bible or something like that, and it would have like Adam and Eve, Cain, and his brother. The whole thing. I remember my favorite was, for whatever reason, was the Tower of Babel.
Oh yeah.
The Tower of Babel. It's like what? They all started what? So it's like, and you to believe in something, like we said, sometimes we don't listen to our parents or we don't believe certain things, but when you start believing that there's someone else higher, it's like,
Right.
it's so, it's so great to have that belief that there's someone higher that does care and love me no matter unconditionally. So you don't have, and you're not able to ask the person, you just have to believe in your heart.
Right.
And when we, I can only speak for myself. When I got lost, it's like, at least it was still in there.
Yeah.
So the day that I'm ready and the day that, I picked up the signs, because, always say, where are you? Right. He's like,
Yeah.
he's right in front of us, but we don't pick up the signs.
Right.
But the day you are ready to pick up that sign, the day you're ready to be able to remember who he is.
Right.
It's awesome to have that in you.
Right.
So it's getting more in that way is like, as you're growing up is so important, I think.
Yeah. Just knowing he's always there.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. And so I love that you say Billy Graham was something big for you, right? My grandma also watched Billy Graham as well, definitely. But for me personally, like she'd put that on and I'd make myself busy, right? So, but she would always preach to me, and she would be so like passionate with everything that she said. She'd be like, and God said, in his word that you would be saved. And I would just be like, whoa, and now I understand more than ever, like how much authority we have. When you have a relationship with God, you have so much authority. We have power. We really do.
Right.
Everything's in our word. That's why he says, be careful with what you say, right? Because you can tear a person down,
Right.
or you can lift them up. And so I noticed that when I started practicing my faith and actually putting it to the test, and I started really honing in on that, he doesn't answer your prayers the way you want, right? Because he's not,
What's the rule? I give you what you need, not what you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's not easy to take that,
Yeah.
but it's true.
Right.
But when it is with the word, when it's with his Bible and it lines up, you get what you need. You really do.
Right.
And so, I thought that was really interesting. But that's how I started falling in love with having more and more of a relationship with God and getting into my Bible.
And that's what it's about. It's about relationships.
Yes.
It's all about, because that's why we were created.
Yeah.
Remember, in the beginning, God said, let us make man in our image.
Yes.
And he wanted a relationship. And that's why it broke his heart so much when they fell away from him. And that's why Jesus came and died, to heal that relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why he gave us each other. It's for a relationship. Like, I'm so excited about the relationship I have with you.
I know. Oh, speaking of relationships, so I love the way she loves, and I thought this was a perfect segment for her because she makes you feel like loved beyond.
Aw.
Yeah, okay, so it's your birthday, anyone's birthday, right? Because we do a women's Bible study together. Anyone's birthday, she'll know what their favorite color is, what kind of cake to make them. Like, she'll buy them the little birthday balloon so that they can just feel special. I love
Yeah.
it. So how did you find like I know you weren't always given love. There has to be some parts of your life where you were kicked around, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm an anomaly in my family.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like and it's just crazy how much love you have to give.
Yeah, my even my nieces and nephews, they know like even as adults, they know like we're walking somewhere like in a parking lot that they have to walk in front of me so I could protect them.
Yeah.
And I always want to protect them because they're my heart,
And so how do you say it what language do you speak?
Guamanian.
Guamanian.
So in Guamanian is Uguay Chahao is I love you. Uguay Chahao.
Chao?
U
U.
Guay
Why?
Za
Za.
Hao.
Za.
Uguay Chahao.
Iguai Zahao.
Yeah, Uguay Chahao.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Iguai Zahao.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, wow. I love that. I love that. Okay, so here's a quick thing. So, does this resonate with your beliefs? The quote is, I have to prove myself to be loved, or needing love makes me weak.
Neither.
Neither? Yeah. These are some of them that some people put truths into their own heads.
Oh.
By believing these things, right? I must admit, in my teenage years, I played the victim card, and I did. I thought, well, love is weak, because I had tough love.
Yeah. And it also depends on your definition of what love is, too.
There you go.
And your perspective. Because it's
Right.
funny, you say those things, and I struggled with loving myself at one point.
Yes.
But it's funny that I don't remember like thinking those quotes. My situation was more like people would be like, they would tell me positive things. So it was only myself that was telling me negative things. So it was just, for me, it was just like, wanting to be someone and sometimes the expectancy of others, like, you're so giving, you're so great, you're so awesome. And it's like, but who am I really? It's like, questioning yourself. That's the issue that I had more for myself, to be able to, be like, oh man, it's like, it just, that was a difficult part for me. I had a lot of people that would tell me great things about me and stuff and had good things to talk, so I struggled with it. And you would think, well, you're not getting talked down to, like we're just talking right now. It's not like someone said you're worthless,
Right.
you're this, know.
Right.
And my grandmother, who supported me all the time in anything and loved me. So I don't know. I think the struggles are just different within people. I don't know about yourself.
It's within. It's definitely. I had to practice receiving right before giving. Definitely.
Yeah.
It was easier for me to give love rather than receive it for some reason.
Yeah. But, I think that's the way it is with a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's hard to receive, because, maybe it could be like our own self-worth. Maybe how we feel about ourselves, like you were sharing.
We're our
it's
own
like
worst critics.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. Exactly, that's where it is. It's like, and sometimes, believe it or not, it's like people, hype you up, and in reality, because you're not ready, it tears you down a little bit.
Yeah.
I sometimes people will be like, trying to lose weight a little bit, trying to take care of myself, and they're like, "Oh, you look good," and I'm like, don't say that. It's like,
quit blowing smoke.
because I'm not ready for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not and not to tell them to be negative or whatever, but it's just, for me, I'm still working on myself, trying to get into this position. And like, man, you look awesome. You look great. I'm like, oh, do I really? I don't know. I don't see it. So it's something that I'm working with even now.
So you don't take it as a way to provide momentum, or
for me, not yet. And that's what I'm saying, because I'm changing my perspective, though, my the way that I perceive things. I got to change that, so that way the stuff that comes into me, can then process it and take it, instead of how I've worked most of my life by in a way that wasn't working for me. So I am working on it. I'm trying to take it more and be like, yes, and I know that I'm going to get even better.
Can I offer perspective?
Yes, I would love it.
That when they say that to you, they're speaking life.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And we know that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So accept it as life.
Yeah.
And let it be life to you and to your bones.
Yeah.
And just say, yeah, I am looking good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to share that.
No,
so.
and that is what I'm working on. It's sometimes it's not even about, if they say, oh my God, you look like you're losing weight, you look great. It's just about sharing love with someone and not really
Right.
taking it for what it is. I'm a little literal sometimes. I'm like, dude, I just checked the scale. I was like, I only lost a pound or I gained a pound. So it's like, so I'm fighting my own mind with
Yeah.
with what the reality is and what the person is trying to share, with me.
Yeah.
So I see it. I
Yeah.
see it, and I'm working on it. So I'm working on it.
But I'm glad that you're identifying it, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it takes a long time to identify it. I had to do the same thing. But yeah, practice that, right? Practice to accept compliments, like as we
Yeah.
heard. I think that's amazing. Support or affection, even if it feels uncomfortable,
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
might be the first step of healing in that arena.
You're gonna have to go.
Yeah, so out of all this, I mean, because life is always a struggle, right? Coming up, what gave you the confidence? Because you do need confidence, right? Just to make your own business.
Well, this is where my dad comes in.
Oh,
My dad taught me to be an entrepreneur when I was like little. So we had a lot of fruit trees. And some of my favorite were the Santa Rosa plums. It was a dark skin and dark meat that's really juicy.
it.
Okay, my mouth is watering.
I know, right?
So we would have extras,
Yeah.
and then he'd have me go around the neighborhood selling them. And on my street, I was known as the plum girl.
that's
So I was selling plums or oranges, fruit off the tree. So I would have to say that's where my journey began, because I wasn't afraid to say, hey, would you like to buy some fruit? And it'll be this much money. And they would just say, well, how do you know that I won't take more? It's like, well, you could take more, but I won't know, but that'll make you a thief.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like 8 years old telling them that. They're like, okay, well, just take
That is so cute.
whatever, right? So my journey started that way.
Yeah.
But then also, to answer that question, my dad. And then I had to negotiate my my fee from him. Like at first he started me off like very little. I said, listen, I'm around here. It takes me almost an hour to get around. You got to give me more money, dude.
oh.
So I demanded more money from him. So
There
yeah,
you go.
learn how to negotiate my
that
fee.
is awesome.
Negotiate my fee, and I provided value because I brought home money to him, and got to get some of that.
Like you said, those were
Cash.
extra plums. So I mean,
Right.
so it's like, hey, either it wastes or we can actually,
Right.
I know I one of the things I love about myself that when I was younger was lemonade stand.
Oh,
I was a little kid in the corner on University Avenue
Yeah.
and
oh my
38th
gosh.
or something, and I'd be right there selling lemonade. I mean, I loved it. I'd be right there selling lemonade, and it's like I love doing stuff
So
like that.
you could be an entrepreneur too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he
See.
is.
See.
A man of many hats.
Oh, okay. See.
Oh yeah. See, but that for me, remember when they would have us at school do that whole little catalog thing?
Oh.
They would do the
Oh,
gift
yeah.
thing,
Yes,
and then you'd
yes.
win the prizes and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, see, I wasn't allowed to do that because my parents didn't want to be responsible for all that. Yeah, so I was told pretty much to not do it, and I wasn't
Really?
encouraged, and so I think that's why I became more of a quiet person. I didn't have a voice.
And you know what's funny with those candies and stuff like that? Yeah, I didn't do too good. I'd eat them. I call my grandma. Grandma, I need like I ate a box. I need some money. So I was that kid. I was horrible with the selling of the chocolates and stuff like that.
Oh.
Like I was so bad.
Okay,
I
okay.
was bad.
Full disclosure.
Okay.
I spent the March of Dimes money.
Oh no!
Oh my
And
god.
I was like, oh, the ice cream man is coming by.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
The
I'll
wine
for
was
it.
So
too
you guys
great.
who did that,
Yeah.
no judgment. No judgment.
Yeah. No.
Hey, but we all mess up.
Yeah.
We all learn from a mess up, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. So what is your business called then?
My business called Kaduka, and my dad was from Guam, and Kaduka means crazy woman, as in if you're happy and you know it, thank your meds.
Aw.
But it's create something magnificent, because that's what you do for someone else. Because
Yes.
as we were talking about relationships, my business is all about relationships, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just like I was saying earlier, that's why we were created. That's why Jesus came and died. Was for
Absolutely.
those relationships.
Yeah.
And I have amazing experiences with people that have actually created jewelry
yeah.
for someone else.
Yeah, I was actually able to be part of one of your groups with that, and I thought it was so interesting. I loved how you really brought the understanding of what certain rocks mean, how they have a meaning definitely birthstones and stuff.
Right.
So I thought it was really nice, and especially like I'm not that kind of gift giver.
Right.
So you made me kind of aware of that.
Yeah, I made you into a gift giver.
You made me into a gift
Made
giver,
you a gift-
definitely.
No, you brought it out of her.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
I
you
brought it out
of her.
That's what
I-
you brought it out.
You
I
brought it out
took
of her.
that-
In the third person.
I was like, it's like, well, God gives to us. We're created in His image,
Yeah.
so we give to others.
Absolutely. Give
Right.
freely.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Definitely,
awesome. And so one thing I loved, you were sharing with me about your picture that you have on your logo.
Yes, yes. So my logo is about my family. At the top where it says Kaduka, it's actually my dad's writing. And below, create something magnificent. I have a friend who does graphic art, and she had just learned how to take like parts of words to create new words. So I have three older brothers, and each one of them have a place in the word create something magnificent. Like the C is for one brother. The M, like when my grandmother wrote his name, so the C is from that name. I have another brother, his name begins with an M, so the magnificent for the M comes from him, and the latter part of the magnificent is from my oldest brother. And then my mom attended the Fashion Academy of New York back in the late 40s. Phenomenal, gorgeous designs. And the hand that's reaching out to give, that comes from one of her designs.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much meaning there. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. That's I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
And it's crazy, like I'm telling you, I love how much love, even though I know your life wasn't perfect and you went through your own struggles, it's crazy how you give so much credit to your family
Yeah.
and you love by showing that you represent it all over
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And my
so,
grandfather hovers over it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
Was your grandpa like the main tree that kept the family together, the unity?
Well, no, he was just, I love my grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much. He was awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome you got to,
Yeah.
How much was he, was he older over there?
Well, he was, my dad that was my maternal grandfather.
okay.
And just like my grandmother, like she was my maternal grandmother. I never knew my father's parents. Only time I ever saw my paternal grandmother was at her funeral.
Okay, and your grandfather was here?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
That's awesome.
So, out of curiosity, do you think that the connections the connections that you had growing up, your friendships, your circles, do you think that helped your love grow, or do you think that hurt you?
It hurt.
Yeah.
Because,
So, what would you say to anyone out there that has circles that they need to really look at a little bit deeper?
well, we all need different type of people in our lives, and I think the people I grew up around, they did help form how I behave now. Like what to look for in my friends, what not to look for in my friends, and how to really set up boundaries.
Boundaries
That's
are
a key. I
huge.
think that's a
Yeah.
really key word, especially when I know not just only friends, especially with family, because we can't choose family.
Right.
That's given to us, and we got to work with it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like for me, it's like just like anything else, we can see value in stuff.
Right.
But of course, the value. Everyone has their ways of being, so we have to work with them and setting boundaries so that way you can only grab that value from that
Right.
person. I think is so important.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so keep safe connections. I mean, that's super important. I know my grandma used to always tell me, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are. And it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I had friends that just were stinking thinking a lot.
Yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
always negative, depressing. And I was like that too. I was like that for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, of course, in my teen years. And then now you can't break my joy. So,
Yeah.
And you know what? It's one of those things where it's we still can have friends that are a little bit, a certain way.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you know yourself,
Right.
then you're the one that's going to rub off on them sometimes.
Right.
So that's a good thing sometimes. You have to, and the ones that don't follow lead, will fall off. I mean, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you start to change yourself, and you know, you start to be the influence, and you start being the positive one. They don't want to be the positive one. They don't have to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the saying? Light makes the dark very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's so true.
It's a good one. I like it. I like
That's
it.
so true.
So that's what it comes down to is you gotta, you know, it's difficult when you're in a different place, like you said, with, you know, with the friends. So that saying, I believe it at a certain extent when you don't know who you are and then you're with these friends and you're getting guided by them. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it brings out, just like it can bring out the good.
Yeah.
You know, my grandmother always be like, no, I don't want you hanging out with that boy because, you know, he's bad. And it's like, no, he just brings out the bad in me. That's all.
Yeah.
It brings out the little guy that wants to
Yeah.
go do things. And that's the thing. We're, you know, especially when we're younger, we don't have control over it. It brings out the worst in us sometimes if you're with somebody. But as you're older, you know, you're more grounded, you're more, you know yourself more. It's like, no, you know where, and you can actually be an influence for somebody else.
Absolutely. And you know, that's where I noticed the most too, is that growing up, oh, the devil has a field day when you're young because he thrives on ignorance.
Right.
He really does.
Right.
When you're ignorant about, you know, what real true power you have, and like I said, the words and everything that my crowd was putting in my head, it was affecting me. But as I got older, I mean, I did healthier choices, right?
Right.
I got into sports with like-minded people. I got into small groups and started to find my way like that. You know, you wanna know that metal sharpens metal, right?
Right.
That's pretty much how it is.
It's pruning.
You're pruning.
Yeah, sometimes
Pruning.
sometimes
You gotta
God
prune in
prunes
life.
us too.
Yeah.
Prunes
Yes.
off the things that don't belong in our lives.
Yes.
The people don't belong in our lives.
Yep.
The habits that don't belong in our lives.
Absolutely.
The other things that don't belong in our lives, and it hurts.
Yeah.
But then the fruit that grows out of it is, like you're
So
saying,
much sweeter.
sweeter and richer and fuller, and
Yes.
the leaves are greener, and
Yes.
just it's the beauty of it
Yeah.
all.
And you attract people. You
Yeah.
attract people too, and the right kind of people.
Right.
So your business, how was it? Was it an idea? How did it come about? What went into the creation of it?
Okay, it was a long time in the making. It was like very slow. So it actually started when I was 8, 9 years old.
Oh wow.
My grandmother and my mother used to take me to See's Candy once a month. And it was that during that time, okay, I'm going to totally age myself. It was the only See's Candy was in Mission Valley Shopping Center. So we go there, we do shopping, and then they would buy their pound box of candy every month.
Did you get a free one when you got in the store?
Always. Well, see,
Okay.
that was
Really?
this
That was
is
the
part
thing?
of it. Okay,
Well, I
so-
didn't know that. I didn't know if they've
so-
always done that. I have no clue.
So I remember one time walking in, and I was looking around the shop, and I was thinking about how clean and fresh it looked. It's all black and white.
That's true.
I know it's always been so clean and,
then-
so organized. And
Right, and then I looked up and I see the candy, but that wasn't what drew me. What drew me was the employee behind the counter. Now at that time they wore like everything. Their hair was
Hair-
neat,
yeah.
and they wore like those nurses' hats.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
Remember those nurses' hats?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
The little
and I remember-
thing.
And I still remember she had fair skin, dark hair, beautiful bright red lipstick, and just like very well put together. And I remember her smile as she handed me my free piece of candy. And it took years for me to realize how that made me feel. The joy it gave me to receive this piece of candy. And then to see the joy on a child's face when you give them something that they love, it gives you joy. So it took me a few decades to realize that joy is reciprocal. So it's like, how can we have a business where joy is given both ways? It just goes round and round without stopping. I started doing silversmithing, like 2.5 years, and then I started doing some beading. And then one time, my friend said to me, "Hey, my friend's birthday is coming up. Can we make a piece of jewelry for her?" I said, "Sure." So I pulled out some stuff. I asked her a few questions, made her a piece of jewelry, and her friend went ballistic. She says, "Oh my gosh, this is just for me, you made this just for me." And she got excited. So that was like the first step of Kaduka, create something magnificent. Yeah, and then you get to do a video. And I turned that into a QR code that goes into a greeting card.
I think it's just something that personalized like that, it's just awesome. And I can't wait to share it with everyone over there. You guys are going to get the link. Everything will be in the information, and you guys will be able to see it and be able to be a part of it.
What's a strong saying that was left in your heart from growing up?
You need to really enjoy your relationships. No matter what their title is, no matter how the other person interacts with you, you could always bring something positive to it. You could always bring love into it.
Yep. Yep. So true. So true.
I think it's also important, from what we talked about today, is that you learn to love yourself through your loved ones. Like I said, it was difficult for me to hear certain things sometimes, because I thought about myself. But, if your grandmother's telling you, or your mother, or your wife, or whoever's telling you, and that's your loved one, try to learn to see what they see and, think about it that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they should be the major influence in your life.
Yeah.
On a human level.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Ugwai Chahao.
And remember, guys,
There's no growth.
without pain.
Until next time.
Bye.